Welcome to Real Talk Wrestling. I'm your host, Josh. With me, always, the babyface, the ultimate babyface. Probably loved the ending of Blood and Guts last night. Chris Coffer, what's going on, man?
Oh, not much, man. Just another fine Thursday evening. Just got done storming over here. I don't know about you, but we had another one of those little flash storms over here.
Every single day. It's been sprinkling over here, which has been ruining my mood. But maybe that's why I have headaches every single day. But I just want to talk about Blood and Guts tonight. We want to talk about
Yep.
AEW. We want to talk about everything that is all about AEW. Not much going on over the WWE side this week. I mean, same old, which is good.
It's good.
Like everything over there is great. I watched Raw. I watched no NXT. I mean, there are some good segments, but not enough to really talk about. Nothing really changed. Same. I mean, I don't want to sound like they just put on an AEW Dynamite show or a Collision show, but I do want to say nothing happened.
Nothing new.
Right?
It was a continuation. They're building really good stories right
Yeah,
now.
and it's great. Like it's
But
great.
no,
I'm not.
no new developments in the story this
No.
week.
No, not yet. Not yet. But AEW had some new things happen. A new title debuted. I'd like to get your opinions on that. We'll talk about that shortly. I watched all of Dynamite live for the first time in a long time. I watched the full 2 hours. I did take a laundry break. I did text you about that.
Yep.
Longest match ever. Like it felt like it was the longest match of all. That match. Let's talk about it. The Jericho Grandpa match felt longer than Will Ospreay and MJF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it went by pretty quick. But that's just because I had jumped in the shower in the middle of it. When I got out, I fast forward through the whole thing.
Oh my God.
I watched none of that. I am 0% interested in a Jericho Grandpa match, as you like to call them.
Oh,
So I didn't watch an ounce of it. I don't know anything that happened. I couldn't tell you who won. I don't know anything about it.
let me tell you,
I mean, I could guess who won, but
I've heard funerals that had louder noise going on. That was the deadest. Nobody gives. If
nobody cares. No one wants to see that.
nobody, if Jericho's smart enough to know, because he's talked about it, the crowd noise, the reactions he gets. If he doesn't know this sucks, then he's lost his touch, or he just doesn't care anymore. Because if you pay attention to the ratings, if you pay attention to the everything, when you go to Wrestle Now, I don't know what it's called. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it's called. So sorry for not plugging you, whoever does this ratings thing. But I listen to the Jim Cornette podcast, specifically the rating show, every single week, and they do the ratings, the quarterly ratings every week. Jericho's always the lowest point of the show, and the Young Bucks are always right there with him at the lowest point of the show. For
Really?
example, last week during the hour-long MJF Will Ospreay match, they started with like 880,000 people, which is the most they've started with in a long time. And instead of going down, usually they drop 100,000 like right there, like the first quarter hour, boom. They actually gained viewers. And then as soon as that match ended, it was Jericho. They lost 80,000 people. And then it was the Young Bucks. They lost 40 more thousand people. And then it was like a women's match. They lost. And then by the time they went from 880,000 to like 620,000. So
That's a lot of people tuning out in the middle of the show.
happens
Jeez.
every single week.
Yeah.
And it's always the Jericho segments that drives people away. And it's always the Young Bucks segments as well.
I guess I could see the Young Bucks as like it's the same. It's the same stuff over and over again. And there's nothing new there. I remember feeling, and I kind of compare them. I remember feeling that way about the Usos at one point. I'm like, they're good wrestlers. I don't hate them. I'm just bored of what they're doing. And then they went away for a while, and then they came back as heels. I'm like, this feels so much better. Like, I know the Young Bucks switched over to heel, but like, they haven't been away really for us to be able to miss them at all. And I don't know that they ever will, because this is their whole thing. I don't know that they'll ever kind of step away long enough for people to miss them.
I just, we'll get to the Blood and Guts match and the lead up to it, the coin flip situation. And to me, it's just not believable. Their heel act, they're more like a comedy act. I don't take them serious.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the dynamic of that television show right now, and nothing adds up. But it's been better than it has been. I'm not going to totally shit on the show all night. I will talk about the good things, and we'll start from the top. We had MJ. First off, I tuned in at 8:01. Like I was running upstairs, I saw someone put a tire in a knife in Will Ospreay's tire, and he's like, "Hey, Alex Marvez, give me your keys. We got to go." And he's like rushing away for, like, where? First off, who's he running from? Where is he at? Was he in the arena? I missed that. In the comments, if you're watching right now or listening, where was Will Ospreay when his car got?
I think he was in the arena.
So he drove. He was terrified and drove away. Was that an act? Now that we know what happened. So okay, I'm putting pieces together. When his tires were slashed, I'm like, okay, why is he running away like a coward? I don't understand anything that's happening. Then we see MJ goes right to MJF, and then he debuts his new belt, the United States Championship. It's awesome, by the way. I hope they keep that. That's a great title. That title looks good. By the way, third name change for that title.
Third name. Yep.
Third. Okay. So MJF comes out. Great segment. Back to his heel stick. We're all pores. Hilarious. But he got the fans to cheer for him because of the USA. So he tried to stop him doing that. Throws the international title in the trash. My question to you is, do you think this is a real title? Or do you think when Will Ospreay eventually beats him at All In, it's going to go back to the international title?
Oh, I definitely think it's going back to the international title. I think this is just a little gimmick for the story. Because you saw where he afterwards, he grabbed the belt out of the garbage and walked away with it.
Who did that? Did I miss that?
Yeah, didn't Ospreay grab it afterwards?
I must have missed that if he did.
Yeah. And then he took it with him. He's like, come on, he's upset that he just threw this belt, this international belt, which I'm pretty sure has his flag on it, I think. And he was upset about it. So yeah, I think it's going to be the America, whatever. They're going to make it. That's going to be the angle, it sounds like, for this feud.
Mm-hmm.
So when Will Ospreay wins it back, he's either going to bring back the original one, or what if he puts out yet another one? But I would think just bring back the old one, the most recent one.
My biggest fear is that at the end of All In, not the end of the match, because they're not going to main event. They should. It should be for the AEW World Championship, but that's another story. But whenever they do finish that match, I'm afraid Will Ospreay will be holding up the United States Championship and the International Championship, and then that's just another title. I think that title
have two belts.
Yeah, I really think that's a new title in the rotation. I really do. That title looks nice. The title looks nice. And it's a good way to reinvent that title because nobody takes the international title seriously. Nobody.
No.
Not one person.
No. But there's too many belts. That's part of the problem right there. I actually had to go look last time. Wait, how many belts do they have now? I can't remember. How many the mid-card titles? They have 3 mid-card titles right now.
Willow has a belt. Where'd that come from?
The CMLL or whatever.
Why? My point is this. If you have a championship from another company, which the other company gives you that title to present it on television, I don't care. I don't care about your CMLL titles or your – I'm sorry, Mercedes. I don't care about your strong women's never weight open – whatever title that is either. Don't care. Just stick with your brand. I know you're doing partnerships with other companies. That's cool. But I feel like you doing them a favor by presenting their titles is ruining your own brand. You don't want to ruin your own brand to help out someone else. Does that make sense? Am I speaking out of turn here?
No, I kind of get where you're coming from, but I'm also thinking I feel like if you do it the right way, it can help while not taking away from your belt. But yeah, they kind of tote them around too much. It sometimes it's hard. A casual viewer, they're not going to understand that there's all these belts from all these different shows. So they probably should just stop doing that at this point.
Yep.
Unless someone's coming over as a special guest one week. Like I feel like that can kind of work if they're champion versus champion kind of a deal. But like as far as AEW stars holding other people's belts and wearing them on AEW, I'm not really for it.
What would be
I'd be
more?
better off without it.
I would too. Would be more beneficial than just Willow carrying around that belt. Because when Willow when I saw her, I said, "Wait a minute, what belt is that?" Because I had no idea. She won some CMLL. I had no idea. It'd be more beneficial if Excalibur. Oh, Sunday night at CMLL's pay-per-view, our own Willow Nightingale won the title, and play like a little 2-minute clip of the match, and that was it. And that's all should. That's it. That'd be more beneficial. Because like, oh, okay, who's that woman she wrestled? Oh, okay, they did that. Oh, that was a cool spot. Oh, maybe I should tune in to see Willow wrestle there. Yeah. Not, oh, she's just going to get beat up by Chris Statlander when she's wearing a belt. Like that, to me, I'm like, oh, what belt is
that? That's their champion, and she just got easily beat up in the back.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, back to the MJF. Did you like my text when I said, well, 70 or 80% of the live crowd can't see anything that's going on now? Which was 100% true.
Yeah, I was waiting because, of course, I started the show a little bit late. And I was waiting to see, I'm like, all right, what's about to happen here? And then, they dropped down the flag and then just left it there for like the longest time while things were going on. And I'm like, I was thinking about it, like those people can't see the ring and now they can't see the TVs anywhere really. Maybe they can see like part of the Jumbotron, but if you're sitting in the wrong seat, you really have no clue what's going on there. So, but I guess it's just they're trying to build, at least for the TV audience, that MJF is going to be overly obnoxious about this.
Yeah. No, I love it.
So at the sacrifice of the people that were there.
And the funny thing is because if you look at that crowd, it was pretty small, especially on the hard cam side. And it's like literally your 70% of your crowd can't see the action, and that's a problem. But I did like it. I liked the presentation. I liked the gimmick of the United States Championship going into Wembley, going into Will Ospreay's homeland. So that's a cool story. It's probably the most interesting thing on AEW television at this point. I don't think there's anything else that's more. There's one that I bought into last night, and we'll talk about Blood and Guts, and I'm sure you know what it is. And I didn't think I'd care this much, but we'll get there when we get there. We have Jericho, Suzuki, Grandpa. Nobody cares. Like, literally, nobody cares. If you care in the comments, let me know. Tell me where I'm wrong and tell me which spot I should have watched. Because I'm not kidding. For the first 8 minutes, all they did was chop each other. For 8 minutes.
Is that why Jericho was bleeding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it was awful. All right, skip that. And then after that match, man, I can't really what happened because I don't care. Like Britt Baker wrestled, but I want to talk about this one segment in specific because I don't really want to talk about Britt Baker or Mercedes or the woman that came out, but we can. Leading into Blood and Guts, about 5 minutes or maybe 10 or 15 minutes, they say, all right, we're going to coin flip. And the coin flip, whoever wins the coin flip gets the extra man advantage. Traditional war games, traditional matches like that, you have a match or a something on the line. If this team wins, they get the extra advantage. This was just a coin flip. What did you think about this at all in the whole spot? Because I don't know about you, but when I'm watching TV and the guy has a coin about, I don't know, I can't even think of something the size, and he holds it this far away from the camera, nobody could tell it's a one-sided coin or two-sided the same coin. Did you? I mean, we knew it was because it was. I feel like they could have done something better.
Yeah, I didn't care too much for that little segment there. When they said they were going to do a coin flip and they were going to do it, I'm like, okay, well, obviously they're going to win the coin flip. They're the heels, and that makes for better. Mm-hmm. It makes always. But yeah, I'm like they flipped it. They didn't really like show you the coin. They're just kind of like, yep, here's the coin. Yep, just take our word for it. Because I wanted to look at it, and they said, oh, we have it has this and that, and I tried to look on the TV. I'm like, I couldn't tell. It was so far back and so quick. I couldn't tell what was what on it. Something that I would have thought would have been interesting. Now, if this isn't, you say traditionally that's they do a match to determine who gets first in. I thought it would be a little more interesting because when we knew that the heels were going to get the first person, the man advantage essentially every round, like I kind of, because of that, I lost a little bit of interest because I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen. It's the heel. They're going to get the man advantage. They're going to be beating them down. Then the face is going to come in for the save. And then the heel beat. Like, I would have liked to see, I think for next year, what would be cool is you have your two starters. And then maybe, the first out of the first round of four people that are added in, maybe who comes out, or maybe you don't. And in one round, the heel goes first and the face goes second. And then it's at random. Maybe the next round, the face goes first and the heel goes second. And then face and heel again, and then heel and face. You know what I mean? Like, just mix it up a little bit down the line. So we don't know who's coming out. We have no clue. Rather than you could kind of guess the flow of things, like who was going to come out. Like that way it could add a little bit of that. Can't really quite say surprise because the people, but I felt like I knew the order of everyone that was coming out. I was not surprised. Every single one. The only thing I didn't know was the tag teams of Matt and Nick. I didn't know who was going to come out first or second between the two of them. But everyone else in my head, I was like, okay, it's time for Max to come out. Okay, it's time for Bowens to come out. Okay, it's time. Like, I could see it the entire way. And that, I think that's something they should change next year.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I think if you're going to do this match and you're going to have them in the back and have their music play every time they come out, you need to differentiate who it is. Because they play the Young Bucks music. All right, which one is it? And they did it not only did they do it with Matt and Nick, with Bowens and Caster as well. You're like, okay, well, who is it? Like, there wasn't really an excitement because you play the same song two times in a row.
Yep.
Kind of like, I don't know, lackluster. That's just nitpicking it, and I don't want to nitpick this whole match because I think the match was great overall.
Yep.
I think the biggest pop of the night, besides MJF and Will Ospreay in that situation, was them boys. I can't even think of his name right now. God, it was so horrible. Briscoe, yes, Mark Briscoe. That dude has energy. That dude has charisma, and they dropped the ball. I'm not saying he should be AEW World Champion. I'm not saying he should be on the top of the card or main eventing events, but he should be entitled to, like, he should be where Darby Allin is, as in top mid card, fighting for the TNT title, fighting for the international title, being in major stories, because he gets a crowd going. And people love him and people are behind him. Yep. And I feel like he's been stuck behind this comedy / ROH, just stuck in this no world where no one knows what's going on. We saw it last night when out of nowhere, Team AEW, all of a sudden they got to cause tension. Are they going to get along? Well, don't talk to me, Swerve. I'm coming after you next. Blah, 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 blah. Well, we don't trust you either. Mark's like, all right, guys, chill. Like, he was the one who brought them all together. He needs to be more. I think if he was more involved in the show and actually got some wins over some top-end talent, he's a star. I mean, did you see it last night in the match? I did. I think he was the best part of the match.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely could see the energy that he brought there. And I think that's a great idea. Now, maybe they have to wait a little bit because they're already set with their stories that they're building towards for All In. But I feel like if they're smart and they were paying attention, especially last night, they would see that energy that he brings to the ring, to the wrestlers, to the crowd, which they need that right now, right? We've talked about how quiet the crowd is. Find a spot, move him up the card and find a spot. Yeah, he's not maybe AEW World Champion or something, but have him get in a really good program with somebody, because he could be, and I know you said he's kind of stuck with this comedy, something, whatever. And so I don't want to just stick him with that. But like you saw someone like an R-Truth for a comparison that they kind of started out a little goofy, whatever. And then like he became must-see TV every week. And if you weren't catching him live, you were going online to the socials and you're wanting to find his video clip and everything right there. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he brings that same kind of energy, that same kind of entertainment. Like, they really need to capitalize on it for sure.
Yeah. I could definitely see him being like a sympathetic babyface, like an underdog, like kind of like a Sami Zayn, but not quite to that level, where he's going up against guys like Pac, right? Like guys like that. who can go in the ring and you believe they're psychopaths. Like we believe Pac is a psychopath and he could hurt Mark Briscoe. And I would love to see a program like that. That'd be phenomenal. And, there's many more. Like Christian Cage. Like, why is he not doing anything with Christian Cage? Why is he not doing anything with top heels? Like mid-card heels, right? I think they're missing the opportunity with Mark Briscoe. And he's getting a lot of slack right now online. I heard about the chair shot to Jack Perry, the unprotected headshot. Yeah, people are really upset about it. I am too. When I saw that, thinking, come on, guys. Like, this is 2024. Shouldn't really be doing that. I didn't like it. What did you think about it?
I thought it was a bit much, but I wasn't completely surprised because it is AEW and this is like one of their biggest hardcore match. And so not totally surprised, but I think they can do without it. And I saw some of that backlash and people just like, telling them like, it's not worth the spot. It looks cool in the moment, but once you get 10, 20 years down the road, you regret it. It's not worth it. So hopefully that was the end of it right there.
If there was someone like a locker room leader who could maybe tell him, hey, maybe we shouldn't use real glass, or hey, maybe we shouldn't use a unprotected chair shot. I don't know. Maybe his name is like Phil or something like that. Maybe if we had someone back there like who had some sense in him and understands the business and how to protect yourself and have a long career and to actually draw money and have a fan base, maybe they sit and drive those people away. That's all I got to say about that. That was definitely a Jack Perry spot where he doesn't care. Like, I want real glass. I want you to hit me in the head real hard. Maybe we should start listening to other people. Back to the whole coin flip situation. Why was Christopher Daniels beaten down on the ground? And did that have to do with anything at all?
I don't know. I missed that too. That was another part, just like the opening segment, that I really didn't catch what it was for, why it happened, or I don't know.
I will say this.
Is that just the Elite? Because they're kind of terrorizing AEW people, top people, Tony and Christopher Daniels, I guess.
But earlier in the show, I don't know who it was. Somebody said, like, I talked to Tony Khan and Christopher Daniels, and they're giving me this match. I forgot who it was. I forgot who said it. Maybe it was Will Ospreay. So baby faces don't have to talk to the Young Bucks, and heels don't have to talk to Christopher Daniels. Like, is that how it works? The power struggle or lack thereof, because there is none. It's just the baby faces say, I talked to Tony Khan. I got this match. The heels will go, I talked to Matthew and Nick. I got the match. I feel like that aspect is missing, and they try to do it with the whole Christopher Daniels being beat down so they can do their own coin flip. I think that's what happened. Like, Christopher Daniels was back there to make sure everything's on the up and up, and if he's beat down, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But nobody told us that. Nobody said that. Nobody even mentioned, like, oh, is that Christopher Daniels on the ground? Did you hear it? Nobody. No one person said that.
No.
So I don't know. Just things that are like, just make you go, Kind of like when Nick Wayne, and I'm not going to go everywhere, going back to the match. Kind of when Nick Wayne had his own promo spot last night, and then halfway, maybe 3 words into it, he looks at this guy with a mustache and a mullet. I still don't know who that is. Does anyone else know who that was, who Nick Wayne was talking to?
No.
Okay. Is that like a Collision thing? Do I have to watch Rampage to know who this person is?
Probably. That's your job. You're supposed to give us our Collision updates and keep us posted on who these people are.
Oh, I watched Collision. Hologram. I watched the whole match.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's got me.
He's just okay?
He just does flips. If you guys like Hologram, let me know in the chat, because I need to know who this guy is. People thought it was Ricochet. Marks. Anyway, back to the Blood and Guts match. They had an awesome spot where Anthony Bowens fell from the top of the cage into tables stacked on tables. That was a crazy spot. I didn't think anyone would take something like that. That was pretty cool, actually, because he was safe. The end of the match. No, let's not get there first. Hangman. Let's get to Hangman.
Okay.
Hangman's music played. At first, when I'm watching the match, the Elite are looking around like, who is it? Who could it be? They know it's Hangman. It's the last person. And they looked worried. Did you notice that? They looked worried. Were they worried he wasn't going to show up, or did they forget that their guy was coming out?
No. It was, maybe you missed this earlier in the show. This might have been during your laundry break, but they had went looking for Hangman backstage and they couldn't find him. And then they were like, I hope he shows up. They're like, don't worry, he'll be there. He'll be there. Like, he's going to be there tonight. So they were hopeful but unsure if he was even going to show up to the match. That's why when his music hit, they're like, all right, he's here. Now, where is he coming from? He's here.
Okay.
This is going to be the person that's going to help us win this match.
So he didn't come out. And
Correct.
at that point, I was thinking, oh, man, how is he going to introduce himself? Because we all know he's coming. And I was pretty hyped for it. Like, all right, let's see what Hangman does. And then he doesn't come out. And then I think I was thinking in my head, well, this match can never start because Hangman isn't going to show up and it'll never start. So it'll never end. And Taz even said that. Well, I guess the match is never going to start. And then Swerve comes out. And as soon as Swerve comes out, that's where Hangman makes his appearance. Beats him up, beats Swerve up, puts him on the cage, handcuffs him, and just beats him relentlessly. One, punch. Has no interest in the match, has no interest in getting in the match, doesn't care about the match. He's like us. I don't care. No one cares about this match. I'm just here for Swerve.
Yeah.
And then Matthew gets on the mic. Hey, if you don't get in this ring, you're fired. Or you're whatever. We suspended you, but next time you'll be fired. Hangman, like a machine, like a robot, stops, walks in the ring. Gets okay. I'm gonna ask you this. When you saw Jeff Jarrett come out to try to save Swerve, what the fuck? What is happening? When did he turn babyface?
I had no idea what his involvement was or why he cares or
what happened.
I don't know. Was someone else supposed to be in that spot and they didn't show up to work or like?
What? My question is earlier, like, is he the new, like, I'm the good guy I'm the old veteran good guy who's gonna pump people up because he did it to Bryan Danielson backstage when he was talking about the World Championship match and the Owen Cup, and now randomly, was Billy Gunn supposed to do it? And Billy Gunn's like, they couldn't find him, so they're like, Jeff, get out there, you look like Billy.
You look close enough.
Yeah, you see Billy Gunn come out. Is that what's supposed to happen?
Billy in that spot from the beginning would have made a hell of a lot more sense. I didn't understand it. I thought maybe I missed something. I'm like, did I look away? Was I like on my phone? I thought I was on my phone for a second checking something. Maybe I've been on my phone for a while. Where did Jeff Jarrett come from? Why is he here? Why does he care? It was.
Where's his heel group? Where's Jay Lethal? Where's Satnam Singh? Like, did he say, you know what? I'm done being a bad guy. I'm the Big Show now. I'm literally the Big Show now. Next week I'll be heel again, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll come back next week.
But okay, whatever. Like, I'll suspend my belief, right? I'll understand that Jeff Jarrett came to help for some reason. And then they're doing the whole Roman Reigns spot where they can't get the handcuffs, right? They're doing it forever. But the one thing about AEW is they were smart enough to go away from the spot. Like, you saw Swerve like, oh, come on, man, do this. Like, I don't know if you caught it, but Swerve like broke characters like, dude, just do this. And then Nana comes with the small. Nana comes out with the smallest. I got these for a reason. The smallest bolt cutters in the history of bolt cutters. I'm thinking, what is he gonna do with these little things one by one?
Yeah.
So they cut away, thankfully. Like, you couldn't get for the viewers at home the giant ones.
Yeah, the regular size ones. The normal bolt cutters.
He gets his little scissors. I'm thinking, this is gonna take forever for it to do everything. So I don't know how they did it, but he just rips the cage open, gets in the ring, the match is officially started.
It had to have either been A, pre-cut, or B, they had like something better than that down there. There's no way that they were sitting there just cutting through with that little thing.
It was hilarious. I think what happened is they cut a couple, and then he just ripped it, because you could probably just rip that open if you were strong enough.
No.
I believe so, maybe. So then the match starts, and the best thing happens. Somewhere in the match, I don't give a crap about this or that or Okada working slow as hell. Okada looked like he was in quicksand all night long. And I know you saw it. I know you viewers saw it too. But the moment of the night for me, and this is including MJF, this is including Will Ospreay, is when you had Swerve on one side and you had Adam Page on the other side, and they slowly walked, and you had that great camera angle. And that's when I texted you, this should be the All-In main event. Because that right there was the first time ever that I believe Swerve was a world champion and that he was the world champion. It's the first time I ever thought that. And that's the first time I ever thought Adam Hangman Page looked cool and tough.
Yeah.
The first time ever. And it's unfortunate that, I mean, it's not unfortunate because Bryan's awesome, but it should have been Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. Like, what?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and I don't want to hear this bullcrap. Well, we have All Out 2 weeks afterwards. Listen, this is the story that's been going on the longest. It has meaning. It has people. If it makes me feel, I'm sure it made everyone else feel, because I'm hard to impress. That right there was the spot of the night, and there was no action. It was just staring and slowly walking. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I liked it. I have one small gripe about it, though. Just one small gripe. I feel like it went too long. Like he was waiting on them to like finish beating up everybody and get through all. Like they set the camera angle down. Like, oh, I can see they're about to go to a stare down. This is going to be good. And then he like had to beat up everybody on his side of the ring for a little bit, and then they cut back to it. And then he's like, oh, he's hitting more. And I feel like he didn't realize like, oh crap, I need to go do the spot now. Like, so I felt like it was a little delayed. Beyond that, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And again, like you just said, it should be the match. I just don't. The story is there. The feud is so believable. I don't want to see it at All Out 2 weeks. I want to see it at All In, not at All Out.
Well, here's the reason, and this is a selfish. I'm buying All In. I'm not buying All Out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm buying the Wembley show. I'm not. And guess what, Tony Khan? I bet you the majority of the people are going to buy the All In event, and the majority of people will not buy the All Out event.
Correct.
And I don't know your game plan. I don't know the reasoning behind Bryan Danielson versus Swerve. I just don't understand it.
But it could be a good match. I mean, I'm sure in-ring wrestling will be great, right? But there's no story there. No. There's such a good story that's been going on. And even with Hangman and Swerve, like how long has it been going on now? Like on again, off again. It's been a while now, right?
And there's been a turn. One was started babyface, now one's heel, one started heel. Like that's great stuff. That's good. That's actually a phenomenal storytelling. Like what has AEW lacked on the most? Storytelling. What does this feud have? Story, history.
Yeah. You know, and it doesn't feel stale right now. As long as it's been going on, it still feels fresh.
Yes.
And this is now Hangman's second time that he's been in a really good long story. You know, you remember the one he had, of course, with the Young Bucks and Omega, and that all, you know, played out at Full Gear when he became champion. And now here he is again in another really good story. He's moving up on my boards of favorite wrestlers.
And this might be a hot take, and I don't care if it is or not. I want to see Adam Hangman Page win that title as a heel.
Yeah.
I want to see what he does. I want to see if he could beat Swerve, which I think he should, because Swerve has beat him every single time. And I would love to see a heel Hangman Page cheat to beat cheat to beat Swerve and take that title and have a heel Hangman title reign. Because didn't he win that title in the COVID era? Or were the people there? Who was the COVID champion? Am I wrong on that? Am I wrong on dates? I'm the historian. I'm literally the historian of the show, but
no, it wouldn't have been early COVID, because think about it. They started, because I remember I went to the pay-per-view right before Dynamite, whenever they crowned Jericho, and that was in 2019, is when they crowned Jericho. Omega, I think, was a lot of the COVID champion. He was the one that was carrying the show then.
Okay.
So it was coming out of that when Hangman got there. But he did it as a babyface, and as we've discussed, the babyface runs are not as good. And Hangman's really good. So, yeah, for him to get a second run, but as a heel, I think could be really good. I like his new character. I like his new look. So I would be for it. I was glad that Swerve got to be champion. I think he's done good. But I think they have something there.
No, I agree. It's nothing against Swerve. It's just mainly the story. I would love to see a heel champion again. And that's all from all brands. WWE, I'm sick of Cody. You're right. WWE, I'm sick of Damian Priest. Like, they're both all babyface. Every world champion is a babyface right now.
I feel like since WrestleMania, the most I've heard from or about Cody. Now, again, I don't watch, but I always keep an eye online. So, like, I felt like even though I wasn't watching live every week, I knew what was going on with Cody and Roman all the time. And I feel like since WrestleMania, the most I've seen or heard from Cody was like 3 days ago when he was tweeting at Joe Burrow, because everyone says that they look the same now. And but that's the most I've heard about him. And that's probably, what it is his babyface run. It was a great WrestleMania moment, but is it stagnant now? Is it, but that's a whole different thing. That's WWE side. We're mostly talking AEW.
Mm-hmm. Cody said something negative about AEW on a podcast, by the way.
Did he?
Yeah, Chris Van Vliet, I believe it was. If I'm wrong, people let me know. But it was a 5-minute excerpt on YouTube I saw. And say something bad about AEW. He's like, I can't think of anything bad. Like, I just think about the good times. And he's like, it ended bad. And he's like, people will write books and people will come out one day and say all the things that were bad over there. And he's like, but I never will. I always want to take the high road and think about the good times I had over there. And he's like, you know what? But I will say something bad. I'll say one thing. And it was about the Young Bucks. And it was about, in their book, they made it a point to say that Cody signed last. Because they were leading to believe that Cody was not a real believer in the product. And Cody's like, that's not true. I was the last to sign, but I was always a believer from day one. And that really bugs him. So you can really see the tension, even though they are still friends, or maybe I don't know if they are or not. I have no idea. But you see the tension there. And you see what kind of drug them away was their egos. And it's always the same two.
Those two are the biggest issue. Always.
And I love the Bucks. I really do. But they're always the ones in the drama for a reason. But I love them. I do like them as performers.
Performers, good. In the ring, they're great, but it sounds like backstage, they're the worst.
Yep. Ryan in the chat says, I want heel Cody. This shaking hands and kissing baby BS is getting old. Yes. Babyface Cody is the worst. That's all I'll say about it. Babyface Cody is the worst.
Yep.
Period. And I was actually on No Holds Barred. I do that show every single Saturday night with Bobby, and he doesn't really watch AEW. Or never has. And he doesn't really pay attention to it. But I was trying to tell him that one show we went to where we booed him out of the damn arena because we were sick of him, his character. Afterwards, thank you, Cody. We love you. Because we do love Cody as a person. We love Cody as a person.
Yeah, when he came back out to talk and everything. And no problem with him as a person. Great person. Just, his act had gotten stale. His babyface act had gotten stale. He needed a heel turn. He needed it in the worst way.
He still needs one.
Still needs it. He went over there, the babyface thing. Think about it. It was the same thing with Roman for years. We're like, we don't have a problem with Roman as a person, but his little babyface goody two-shoes character, we can't stand it anymore. It's so overdone. It's so bland. It's so boring. And then look, they finally turned him heel, and he went on one of the all-time great runs.
There's a lot of baby faces that I can say that about right now, LA Knight, that are doing the same thing where it's like, just give me edge. Not edge just give me an edge to you. If you're being a babyface, I need some edge. Like Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley's one of the worst wrestlers in the history of the world. Jon Moxley sucks, but I like his persona, right?
Yeah.
Like he's a babyface, but he'll still kick you in the mouth and do. Bryan Danielson, same way. He's a babyface. But when it comes down to it, he'll still kick you in the mouth. He's just, but anyway. You'll never see Bryan Danielson, take me want him. Come on. Kidding me? No. Bullshit. Anyways, back to the AEW. Where was I at? Where were we at? Oh, Swerve and Adam Page. And Adam Page being
and the stare down and
So the end of the match, we'll go straight to the end of it. We only got a little bit more time left. They handcuffed everybody. Everybody was handcuffed. At one point, before all this happened, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but I did, and I even rewound it. Okada, his lazy ass. Okada's the worst. Okada's got on the level of Grandpa to me. Unwatchable. They were doing the spots where they're handcuffing everybody. Okada I feel like he missed his cue or didn't know what happened. So instead of while everyone was getting handcuffed, he kind of slowly walked away to where Caster was, and over there in the corner on the other side of the ring where you couldn't see him because all the action was happening on this side of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he fell down and laid down. Nobody hit him. Nobody tripped him. He's just like, oh, crap, I'm supposed to not be seen. So he walked slowly away from the action, slowly away from Darby, slowly away from Matthew, slowly away from Jack, walked to the other corner of the ring, the total opposite side, and I saw him fall down by himself and just laid there.
I totally missed that. I didn't notice that at all, but I wasn't paying much attention to him.
I did, because I'm like, where's he going? Why is he not helping his team? I didn't understand it. I truly didn't understand it. But
yeah.
There was many times where Okada would do a little snapmare, and instead of doing a flip, he would just tumble slowly. Did you notice this at all? Am I crazy?
I noticed that he was sluggish in the ring, but I wasn't paying much attention to him because I felt like out of all the people in the ring, I cared the least about him because he just didn't have much going on there. Like him and Briscoe, they're the two that they had not much going on as far as story and why they're there. And I know they tried to put a little bit there, but at least Briscoe, he's bringing the energy like we were talking about earlier. He's fun to watch. And then Okada, I'm just like, I don't get why does he care? You have Darby and Jack Perry set him on fire. They got a little bit of a rivalry brewing. You got the tag champs versus number one contenders. Of course, we talked about Swerve and Hangman. I'm like, the two odd man out, Briscoe, Okada, but Briscoe's at least entertaining. So Okada, I really didn't pay him hardly any attention through most of the match.
I couldn't
because again, I didn't see anything to really make me want to keep an eye on him.
Not one spot that made me think, oh, that was cool. Nothing.
Yeah.
The biggest spots of the match I remember is first off Darby's coffin drop from the top of the cage. That was awesome. That was cool. I'm not a Darby fan, you know that, but that was cool. Yep. The Bowen spot. But anyway, back to the match. At the end, they handcuff Jack. And Darby gets on the mic, say you quit, never, right? Oh, whatever. And I'm like, oh, gosh, I already knew. And I thought they were going to do it for real. I thought they were going to set him on fire again.
Oh, I didn't.
I did. Because they're that stupid. They're that stupid.
I didn't because as you texted me, he wasn't in that protective whatever stuff. And whatever they poured on him, it was probably just water.
I know. But
so I was like, they're not going to do it right now.
I was like, well, he's wearing pants. Is he wearing some fireproof protected under these pants? I was really worried.
Over his face or something, though.
I understand that, Chris. I'm glad they didn't do it because they
didn't do it. Listen, with the safest company in wrestling, do a stunt like that? No.
The safest company in wrestling. You're right. I think the way it ended was very, as the kids say, mid.
Yeah.
That was it. Cool. I get it. But it was just talk to me. You want the match? You want the match? You want the match? You got the match. Say I quit, or I'm going to light it out on fire. All right, I quit. I quit. If Matt would have said, and again, I'm fantasy booking, and I don't, I'm just a guy over here talking on the mic. But if Matt would have said, you got the match, that's not good enough for you? And if Darby walked over there and at least acted like he's I'm not bluffing, I'm going to do it. And then Matthew picks back up the mic, okay, don't do it. Please don't do it. Please, begging you, please don't do it. I quit. We quit. We're done, please. That would have been way more impactful than it's, all right, I quit. All right, I quit.
What, you know what would have been a good spot right there? To try and make it feel like they could actually do it. What if they did one of those those little fireball segments, those little fireball spots. I mean, where he blows a fireball at him. He has something in his mouth and he blows something on him. Just a little quick something to where it's not going to light him on fire. And then he's like, all right, I'm about to do this for real now. So now it's like, this is your last chance. And then that's when they freak out. Like, all he did again, he just poured some water on him out of a gas can and then had that little tiny lighter. That was, it was so small.
I mean, I'm not criticizing. Like, I don't want to criticize too bad because I think the right people won.
Yeah.
Again, though, at what cost and what's next? What's next? The baby faces won. Okay, now what happens?
Yeah.
They just do it again. We just have another. The EVPs are still in power.
Yep.
Nothing was asked WCW Hellfire. Yeah, fireballs. I don't like fireballs at all. I think fireballs are awful. But your idea is valid. I mean, I'm not going to trash your idea.
Just something to make it seem a little more believable that that's what they were about to do.
Yeah, because I just didn't buy that he was going to. Because first off, he barely poured water on him.
Yeah.
If you would have had the flamethrower out and just like
something, yeah, there you go, something.
Soon as
that could have been that. You know what? They could have had that under the ring and went and got it from under the ring and just pull the trigger a couple times and then point it at him or something and make it look like he's about to light him on fire. Just something.
I bet you they wanted to do that, but it was probably like where that arena or that whatever. It's like, no, we don't do that here. You know, because some places you just can't do that. It's against their policy, or like we don't have the light, whatever. I bet you they pitched it. I bet you they wanted to. They just didn't. But all in all, good blood and guts match. It wasn't too crazy. It wasn't like that one where guys were hanging upside down and just remember that first blood and guts ever. That was awful. Yeah. This one was kind of more tame. I liked the spots where, the barbed wire and Anthony Bowens being sandwiched between the two wire. That was a cool spot. Like there was a lot of new spots I didn't think about that they did. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like Darby climbing on the top of the cage. That was cool. Nick Jackson doing the swanton on the boards. That was cool.
Yep.
So I can't complain about the match and the action. Just the story, I just don't get it. Like what happens on Dynamite next week?
They just all move along. Like nothing happened.
And they're still in charge. Like, are they ever going to answer to Christopher Daniels?
It's basically, like I was telling you and Clutch before, this is kind of like the Vince McMahon era Survivor Series. People are just all of a sudden mad at each other. They have to have this special match, 5-on-5. And then as soon as it's over, no one talks to each other. No one has anything to do with each other. They're just kind of done.
Yeah.
Like it's just over.
I agree. But it was a good
vehicle.
It was a good vehicle to get Darby the match with Jack. It was a good vehicle to get, because what's going to happen next is we're going to get the tag team match at All In, the Acclaim versus the Young Bucks. So that's going to be a thing. Well, we beat you guys. We deserve a title match. So that's a good vehicle. That's going to happen. It looks like All In card is shaping up pretty good. And I'm actually excited for it, and I will be buying it. Are you buying it?
Yeah, I will be buying it for sure.
Man, is it a Sunday or Saturday night?
Probably Sunday, because that's the way they've been doing this lately, which is a pain.
If it's a Saturday, I'm inviting myself to your house to crash it. We'll just split the cost.
No, I think we were talking about that, and then we saw it was on a Sunday.
Because I'm down to order some pizza, drink some brewskis, and watch All In. But if it's on a Sunday, I'm out.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Let me look it up right now. I forget the exact date. I know I'm definitely going to do it because I'm going to be at home that weekend because Miranda is going to be gone. Yeah, it's on Sunday, August 25th, so it's a Sunday.
That sucks.
Otherwise, if it was Saturday, I'd be like, let's do that for sure. But
yeah, get some nooners, order some pizza, order whatever, get some wings, watch them All In. I would have definitely hung out with you and done that, but it's not. So we'll be watching it live from our houses. I'm excited for it. There's so many more things that happen on Dynamite that we don't have time to talk about, like Mercedes' new friend. That's cool. Which this is a bigger story, guys. It's not going to we're going to see another comeback very, very soon. Yeah. I think you're going to enjoy that comeback. Do you not see it? Do you not see where this is heading?
What's her face?
Her homeland is All In.
Yeah. No, I can see her face right now, and I can't think of her name right now. Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter.
There we
She's
go.
going to be coming back very soon. It has to. You don't introduce a big woman like that to back up Mercedes if you don't have a backup plan.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll see Jamie Hayter at All In debut, or not debut, but return. I don't know if it's going to be for the TBS title, so it's not going to be a tag match. I'm just excited for this. The women's division is looking good in AEW. The way that woman looked, I don't know who she is, Camille. I don't know who she is. I have no interest. I don't know. But she looked like a big, powerful woman.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to – dude, they have Mariah May. They have Mercedes. They have Britt back. They have Thunder Rosa doing good things on Collision. Yes, I did see her on Collision. Bright future over there. Bright future for the women's division. So
it's looking up. It's looking up for the
we'll
first time in a long time.
We'll end it on that. Oh, by the way, Sky Blue gimmick changed. No, nobody knows why. But we should end it on a good thing. We're gonna get on out of here. I'm gonna play College Football 25. Are you gonna play College Football 25?
No, because I don't have a PlayStation 5. Why won't they release it for the cheap people like me who still have a PlayStation 4?
Because, Chris, they got to pay them NIL monies and they got to pay all these people. Do you know how many people are in this game that they got to pay now? How much do you think the third string quarterback over at BYU is getting paid for this?
$600. They all get $600 in a copy of the game.
Is that true?
They get $600 in a copy of the game. That was the deal.
Is that true?
Look it up as soon as we're done. I'll find an article. That's what I've heard many times. $600, no matter who you are, $600 and a copy of the game, and then you're in it.
I had no idea that was that cheap. So, they got some big names in there. Like you were, like they got like the quarterback from Texas. They got some stars.
So as far as them covering their money, I'm sure they did that on pre-order of day one.
I pre-ordered.
I'm sure they've made their money back and then some.
Yep. And I will tell you this. You would love it. The recruiting aspect of it, the in-depth of it, the building of a team. It's so much fun. The gameplay is just like Madden, though. So,
yeah.
It is what it is.
I'll take it, man. It's good.
All right. That was our football minute.
Yep. I was about to say, if it was out for PS4, I'd buy it, but I can't justify spending $600 on a PlayStation just to play one game.
You should talk to Justin Bowerly about that because co-host of OUS Fantasy Football on Wednesday nights, he bought a PlayStation 5 strictly for College Football 25.
I thought maybe I would buy a PlayStation 5 once GTA Florida is what I'm going to call it. Grand Theft Auto Florida is out, and then I could get that game and the college football game. Then maybe I would look into getting another PlayStation. But until then, I'm not going to buy a system for one game.
There you go. He's making a stand, Sony. Stop being cowards. Release it for all you pores, as MJF will call them.
Exactly. That's me.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for watching the show. We'll be back next week, and we'll probably be talking about – is there any pay-per-views this weekend? When's SummerSlam?
That's a great question. I don't know. Where's Clutch at? Clutch, when is SummerSlam? We need you here right now.
When is SummerSlam? We'll be talking SummerSlam next week because I think we'll either be doing a preview or post show. So peace out, guys.